Hello everybody and welcome back to NCAA 2004, and we are here getting fully underway into year number 8, carrying a 22-game win streak, which ties the Sick Saban era record. I'm not sure what it is for the Nick Saban era or just Alabama's program history, what their longest win streak is, but it's currently a best for Sick Saban, and since he's taken over the Crimson Tide at 22 games. So that is going to be what's on the line in Columbus, Ohio, in the famous Horseshoe Stadium here, that Ohio Stadium that the Buckeyes have played in since the beginning of time. That's not exactly true. It's I think since 1920 or 21. I think if my history is correct. I am an Ohio State fan, so that is something I should know. But if you haven't heard me mention that before, unfortunately, I am a Buckeye fan. If that bothers you, I think one of my most loyal viewers, I think, is a Penn State fan. So apologies, but go Bucks. Either way. Moving on ahead, I'm actually pretty happy as a Buckeye fan in this game because in the sim, the Buckeyes have been one of the few programs alongside us in Maryland who have been a perennial contender every single year. All but 1 year in the sim, the Buckeyes have won the Big Ten championship, and they have not had a year worse than 11-2. So if you think that we're reaching a point of blue blood, just royalty where we win too much, Ohio State has not had a season worse than 11-2. So I just want to point that out. I don't think Maryland has even achieved that level of success. Ohio State even won the national championship in year number 2 and then lost it the following year in year number 3 against Oklahoma. So the Buckeyes have been a very, very dominant team, and they have one of the best rosters I've ever seen when I went to go write down their names. They have 3 senior receivers who are all over 90 overall. I don't even know if we have any kind of chops like that anywhere on our roster. And already we are miscuing on offense here as Jesse Allison misses with Scotty Mitchell. So Ohio State's going to start it in their own end. But on the first play from scrimmage for the Buckeyes, their quarterback, Ron Hutchinson, is going to fumble the football after getting hit by Cunningham. And we are going to have the ball now deep in Buckeye territory here. So on 3rd and 6, still struggling to make a play here on offense, or rather get some momentum going. And Jesse Allison is able to hit, I believe, it looked like he hit Sean Watts maybe, but we're going to get another look, hopefully, on the replay and get a better look at what receiver this was as Jesse Allison lays this one into the back of the end zone. And Scotty Mitchell, of course it's Scotty Mitchell. I thought it was 89, but it looked a little bit bigger than Scotty Mitchell is, because Scotty Mitchell is tall and lanky, so he looked a little bit more stocky, but he's not. So on the point after, however, we have a little bit of wackiness going on here in the shoe. Now, we've seen this before down in Tuscaloosa, but it looks like we have some pretty weird crosswinds maybe on this end zone in the shoe. So that point after is not good. So 6-0 is the score. We have another chance on offense here on a 3rd and 6. Jesse Allison finds an opening on the offensive on the line of scrimmage and takes it himself here and gets brought down. Still shy of the first down marker here, but it gets close. So Sick Saban is going to keep the offense on the field for a 4th and 1, but we have some movement on the right side of the offensive line. And that is going to be some movement from Jimmy McKenzie, the junior right tackle, who's going to move, and that false start's going to back us back up to a 4th and 6 and erase Jesse Allison's play at the end of the first quarter. So the first quarter is going to come to a close, and now we're going to come out here with the decision to be made by Sick Saban, but he's going to keep the offense on the field here for 4th and 6. Allison drops back to pass, and he lays this one across the middle here, and I believe it's Max Price, the young receiver. I want to call him a freshman, but he's not anymore. He's a sophomore, and he gets the pass across the middle and gets the first down in a little bit more. So this drive will continue. The risky gamble by Sick Saban pays off. So fast forward to inches to go for a first down. And again, Jesse Allison's going to dump this one quick, this time to J.J. Wright, the running back, and he's going to get the first down. And again, just a little bit more to make this a little bit easier. Hopefully we can punch it in on maybe another couple plays or so. So on 1st and goal in I formation, Jesse Allison's just going to hand this off to J.J. Wright. J.J. Wright bobbing and weaving, bouncing back and forth. He went to the left, then to the right, and gets tripped up into the end zone, and we are going to score again. So pending the extra point, it will be 13-0. We might go for 2, but we're just going to take the point after on that end, and we were able to nail it. So 13-0 is the score, but the Buckeyes finally moving on offense themselves, as their quarterback, Robbie Hutchinson, is able to find their top receiver, Raymond Kramer, for a huge completion. That's going to get the Buckeyes deep in Crimson Tide territory for what feels like the first time today. But already quickly it becomes a 3rd and 7. Hutchinson's got to find an opening here, and he does find an opening, but it is a Crimson Tide defender, and now heading the other way. I believe this is Harold Frazier, and it is Harold Frazier all the way back towards the end zone. A pick 6 heading the other way. So a huge, huge mistake here. Ohio State finally gets a little bit of momentum on offense, and it ends up going, about 70, 80 yards the other way for a pick six. So, and on the very next drive, Hutchinson's going to do it again and find Harold Frazier, this time on their own end of the field, but it's still a pick six all the same. So on back-to-back drives, Robbie Hutchinson hits Harold Frazier for 2 pick sixes, man. So that's 14 points for Harold Frazier by himself. Can you believe this? Ohio State already with 3 turnovers, and finally they're going to get a little bit of momentum once again here as Robbie Hutchinson is able to complete this pass to one of their receivers. I didn't see what number it was, but it's going to be a first down, but now quickly becomes 3rd and 9 again as our defense really coming through strong here. And again, it looks like Ohio State ran the exact same play, trying to hit this 83 fellow, who, I don't even have on my sheet, but trying to hit him for a bit of just a quick out. And it is a completion, but it's not enough for the first down. So Ohio State's going to try and just settle for the points here late in the first half. And it is no good as that wind, that tricky wind on that end, man, just continues to impede things for both teams, but it's going to keep Ohio State off the scoreboard in this case, and it looks like they're going to get shut out in the first half in the shoe. I don't even know if that's ever happened, or it probably has happened in the earlier years of the shoe, like in the 20s and 30s, but it's probably been years, decades, since it's happened in this modern era that we're considering is modern. I guess this is still 20 years old, so whatever's modern. So, but Scotty Mitchell gets a huge completion. Look at the size difference, man. Scotty's not even looking him in the eye when he's talking to him. Do you see that? That's got to be demoralizing. Look at this. He's not even looking him in the eye. That's ridiculous. But Jesse Allison able to hit Jody Quinn, and it's funny because the two guys who weren't even involved in the play were John. But it's getting physical out there, man, as two top programs find themselves at odds, as now with another completion to Jody Quinn, we are looking to go up by over 30 points on the Buckeyes in the shoe. So, and this is a prime game here, like a noon game. We're not even under the lights here in Columbus. This is just a regular 12 o'clock beatdown of the Buckeyes as we go up 33-0 entering into the third quarter. Ohio State still searching for their first points in this game. And now we have backups in the game, but that is still Jody Quinn on the field, who said, "It's okay, Sick Naven, it's okay, Coach. I still want to get some reps in." And I guess it's because he wanted to do this as he gets the pass from Ryan Barton, our backup quarterback, the sophomore. He gets the pass from Barton, and Jody Quinn gets another completion and another touchdown in this ball game. So you best believe, man, we are running the score up on the Buckeyes, man. This is personal. We don't have a long history with the Buckeyes in the Sick Naven era here, but considering where they are at, this is just pretty much strategic playing for us. If Ohio State is to lose this game the way that they are, I don't necessarily know that it would completely end their season because we are still early enough in the season, but because they don't have a conference championship, they would need a lot of things to go their way in order to still stay alive in this, including us to lose or whoever wins the Big 12 to lose another game or so. But while we are sitting here chatting and talking, we have another pick six, and this time from a defender that I don't even have on the roster sheet. He's so far down, we don't even have him here, but he gets a pick six as well. So 47-0. And now we're going to fast forward Ohio State with a quarterback change on a 3rd and goal. And their backup quarterback is finally able to get some sort of offense to go here as he finds an open receiver in the end zone. And Ohio State will not be shut out in the shoe here. And that's another thing we might have to look up and research and see exactly when that has ever happened, if it has ever happened. But it's not going to happen today, as Ohio State does manage to at least throw 6 points on the board. And just to add insult to injury, again kicking on this end of the field, and the wind is going to make that no good. So 6 points is all the Buckeyes are going to be able to score with only 22 seconds left. They're not going to get the football back before the game ends, and we're going to win this one 47-6. We beat the Buckeyes by 41 points. Can you believe it? We beat the Buckeyes by 41 points. So if you're seeing how short the video is and you're like, dude, why is the video so short? Here's why, man. We completely pummeled them. Really nothing happened in the second half once we went up 33-0. There was really nothing else to watch or focus on once we put the backups in, because it was pretty much just run-of-the-mill practice reps for everybody. But taking a look at the statistical breakdown, things weren't really a huge, there's not a huge discrepancy for either team. Both teams offensively were pretty consistent, or at least as consistent as each other. Obviously, the huge difference here is the 4 turnovers, 3 of which were pick sixes. Not just interceptions, but pick sixes. And I think the one fumble that they had also resulted in points. So that was our first touchdown, I think, was off of Ohio State's fumble. So we have, what is that? That's because we got point afters on 3 of them, so that's 21 at least, and another 6. So 27 of our 47 points was all off of turnovers. So this game would have been 20-6 otherwise, removing all the turnovers. So maybe a little bit closer, but still, our defense completely smothered the Buckeyes, which appears to be what's going to be the case here. It looks like our defense is going to be what really shines on this team this year, and not so much the offense, which is a huge shift with how we've been doing things up to this point. Our quarterback last year had 4,700 yards, for God's sakes. So shifting to a defensive first team is a huge shakeup here. But in the even bigger shakeup, guys, we're not going to be watching the Arkansas game this year because they're bad. They're really bad. They started off 0-3 to start their year, won a game, and then we beat them. So picking up wins against them in Georgia puts us against Notre Dame, another top 5 matchup as we play the number 3 team in the country, this time back in Tuscaloosa. So I hope to see you guys there when we take on the Fighting Irish.